again. This is Barry the Geese. Put the pen away. My wife's always telling me off for having the pen in my mouth, so I'll put it away now. I want to talk today about flying. Now, flying is a good way to travel. Travel in general is great, but when you want to fly, it can seem like an onerous task, and you hear all sorts of horror stories of people flying. Internally, I've flown both Air New Zealand and Jetstar. Don't like Jetstar, especially flying out of Auckland. They're hopeless and they always try and get me out of my chair. We have a major argument and it always ends up in a real battle. And I always win because I am assertive and make sure I stand for what I want. Air New Zealand, brilliant. The first question they ask, do you want to take your wheelchair to the gate? And of course the answer is always yes. So personally, I fly in New Zealand. Jetstar, you can fly Jetstar as long as you don't fly out of Auckland because that's the worst terminal to fly out of. The rest of the country, not too bad, but again, I'll pay a bit more and fly Air New Zealand. You're guaranteed your flight. Flying overseas, Air New Zealand's pretty good. Most of the airlines aren't too bad. They do try and accommodate you and they do take notice of you and they will try and do the best for you. I've always found being really friendly helps. Don't get uptight and don't get angry unless you really, really have to. The best idea is to try and be laid back. They're just trying to do their job. And unless you get somebody that's a real officious that you can get, and then that really gets up my nose. But I try and work with the staff because they're there to help and they're just doing their job. Recently, Bronwyn and I flew to the UK and we flew Cathay Pacific. And I was really surprised how really, really good they were. Flying over, we had trouble as normal getting our chair from the gate. We had to wait around. It usually takes half an hour. It can take up to an hour to wait for your chair to arrive. I took two chairs to the UK, our sports chair and my day chair, and they booked the sports chair up that was all folded up and packed up to travel. And I just looked at the chair and said, well, what do you think? And basically they realised they'd bought the wrong chair. But it pays to try and stay as relaxed as possible. I talk away to the staff and, basically say, well, I know you're doing your job. It's just the way it is, and it works really well. Coming back from the UK, they'd written a report on how bad it had been for us going over, and they couldn't have given us better service. I was really impressed. But it always pays to insist and be very nice about how you insist. Like sometimes they try and get you off the plane early, and I just sit there. I know they want to turn the plane around, so I'll just sit there and they say, do you mind getting in one of our chairs because we want it to move? And I'll just sit there and say, it's okay, I've got all day, I'm in no hurry to get off your plane. And of course that freaks them out because they want to turn the plane around and fly it back to wherever it came from. So they'll rush to get the chair, which is funny to watch. It's really hilarious to watch them racing around and try to get our chair back. When you do travel, when Bronwyn and I started to travel, she was very independent and wanted to do it all. But she's learnt over the last few years, the best idea is to sit back and let them organise it for you. Let them take your luggage for you. Because it's hard enough travelling through customs or wherever you're going, let alone trying to take luggage and work together. So basically now Bronwyn stands back when they say, can I take your luggage? She says, sure, lets them take the luggage. She focuses on us getting to where we want to go. It isn't the easiest thing in the world and it can be stressful. But that hasn't stopped us from flying and we really enjoy flying around the place. We've had some amazing experiences. And if you go to Barry's Quest, you'll see some of the trips that Bronwyn and I have been on and the enjoyment that we get out of travelling. But each time it is different and it is a different experience taking the chair. Often there is some damage to the wheelchair. You've just got to be prepared for that. Bronwyn's got really good with a crescent and she's been able to fix my chair on the go. But it hasn't stopped us from going. But I think the thing that's made it better for us is that I'm always friendly to the staff. I keep them on side because they can either make the trip or break the trip for you. And it's really important that they make the trip. So enjoy flying. If you've got any comments, just make them on the Facebook page. Horror stories, great stories. I'd rather have great stories, but I'm happy to have horror. Thanks again.